welcome back to my channel. My name is Catherine and this is A Taste of Cath. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about my experience in Nigeria. You probably would have seen from my previous video, I had a Nigeria vlog where I spent about a week in Nigeria. I spent some time in Lagos and I spent some time in Ibadan. So I just want to talk about my experience, some tips, some strange things that I was a bit surprised at. So I'm just going to get straight into it. Okay, so just to give you some background, I am Nigerian but British born and bred. So I tend to visit Nigeria quite frequently, but I actually haven't been back since 2016, so it's been about 6 years. So December 2023, I decided to go, and it was actually a really great experience, minus a few things, but that's kind of the background of things. So I'm going to start with day one. So I was coming from Ghana, and I got to Lagos and headed straight to the hotel, you know, as you do. And to my surprise, when I got to the hotel, they said that payment had to only be done via cash or via transfer. And I found that a bit strange. So we couldn't actually book the hotel, pay for the hotel online beforehand. They said you had to pay at the hotel. So I thought paying at the hotel meant you can use your card, with a Visa, with a MasterCard, and as well, of course, you can pay cash or however. But to my surprise, it was only cash or bank transfer. So I was only there for one night, and I got there quite late in the evening. So I was already quite tired. I just wanted to settle and then head off to my next destination the following day, which was Ibadan. So on approaching the desk, they told us that, you know, we can try and pay by card. So we tried and it wasn't working. So I was a bit confused as to why it wasn't working. I mean, we tried multiple cards. We tried one, we tried two, three, maybe four cards. Eventually, the lady at reception told us that only Nigerian bank cards can be used and international bank cards cannot be used. So that means no bank cards from other countries in Africa, no bank cards from Europe, no bank cards from the US, which is strange for a hotel. You would expect as a hotel that you would, you know, accept international payments as well as, you know, the cash or the transfer, whatever that may be. So on that, I was just like, okay, so where do we actually go from here? So of course, your next instinct would be, oh yeah, find an ATM, withdraw, and pay cash, right? Right? Yeah, because that was my thought. But no, we tried the ATM across the road. We tried an ATM outside, down the road. We kind of tried everywhere that we could, and there was no cash. So basically, we had no way of paying for this hotel. And it was quite strange because you would think, okay, you tried one ATM, it didn't work. You tried another, it doesn't work. What's actually going on? Like, Lagos, is there no cash? Like, in any ATM? No? No? Okay. Great. So we went back to the receptionist and she essentially said that there's an issue right now in Nigeria. There's a shortage of cash. Whether that is true or not, I didn't know at the time, but I just knew that we weren't able to find cash in the ATMs around, and of course we weren't able to use our international bank accounts. So what did we do? Well, I'm telling you, I had to contact some friends and see if they were able to transfer, and a couple of my friends wanted to help but they weren't able to, and I had one friend that actually tried to do the transfer but there was no network, and so that was causing an issue with her banking app and it wouldn't let her actually make the transfer for me. Wahala, because this is now probably about an hour later and I'm still sitting at reception because I can't pay for this room, and it's getting embarrassing. People are sitting around, I know people probably don't know what's going on, but you know, in your mind you're like, do I look like I don't have anywhere to go? Do I look like I'm homeless, or what's really going on? So it was a bit of a stressful period, but I was able to think of a solution. And well, I say solution, I thought I had come up with a solution. I contacted like those people that transfer money, like a Western Union type of transaction, to help make the transfer. But of course, as I mentioned, there was a network issue. So even though someone had made the transfer, it didn't come through. There was no receipt to prove it, and the receptionist said that they hadn't got an alert or notification to say that the payment had been made, even though I was assured that the payment had been made. So at the same time, we were actually able to go back to the receptionist and ask her if there was any way that we could make a card payment, maybe if she tried a different POS or something like that. So she ended up putting out this POS, POS being point of sale, and she essentially said that we can try this one, but it's useless to her, because if we use this as payment, she will struggle, as in the hotel will struggle to get the money out of that machine. And at this point I was like, we don't really have any options, so let's just go with this, because as long as I know that the payment has gone through, then I know that we're clear. How you as an establishment get that money out isn't really my concern. So as long as I know I've made payment, then I can, you know, sleep freely and not feel so confused or worried about having to wash plates or getting kicked out of this establishment. So we try the machine and it actually goes through. So the other POS that she did somewhere actually came through, and it was able to accept an international bank card. So the payment went through. But remember, I already sent a payment through. So in the morning when we were about to leave, this is around 6 a.m. or something, the same receptionist was there, and she said that she had also received the payment that I sent previously through the money transfer person. So we ended up essentially double paying. So luckily I have a account that she could have transferred the money back to, so she paid me back, she transferred it back for one of the payments essentially. So it was a headache, but we got there at the end. I mean, we didn't have enough cash, right? I mean, you don't come to a country, well, I don't know, but normally you don't come to a country with a lot of cash, right? You come, you change some cash, and then later on, you know, you use your bank card, you withdraw cash if you need to, etc, etc. That's how I do it anyway. Please tell me in the comments below if you do it differently, but that's how I normally travel. So this was, you know, I just didn't expect to need to have that much cash. But then I was soon realizing that this is just how things are going to happen in this Nigeria. Trust me, tip number one, cash is king. Cash is king. Do you hear me? Cash is king. Yes, cash is king. If you're going to get through in Lagos, cash is, not just Lagos, Nigeria, cash is king. So now, a whole nother scene for you. So following on from the hotel, we got to the Agege train station to catch the train to Ibadan that morning, and you know, realizing that this might be a problem, I checked online to try and buy the tickets the night before, in the middle of the hotel issue, and I saw that there was an article saying that there was a directive that all the train fares would be free during the festive period. So from, I think, the 22nd of December up until the 4th of January, all train fares were free. And I know that sounds great, right? In reality, that sounds great. But with no prior notice of this, many people had already planned their journey to go to this train station and purchase a ticket there and then. So we were traveling on the day that they had, that the announcement would start from, on the day that the free tickets would start from. And when we got there, one of the workers, I think it was one of the managers, was like, if you're here and you haven't got a ticket that you got from online, one of the free tickets, just leave. You're not going to get on the train. You're not going to get on the train. Just leave here. And I was already in a very high stress-filled feelings, like in my feelings, because of all the hotel stuff. So I was just like, I must get on this train. I mean, I just want to get on this train, get to Ibadan, and relax at this point. So I was a little bit stressed out, and somehow we ended up getting on the train. Just to cut the long story short, because it's a long story, but we ended up getting on the train. But when I tell you, we were the last people to get on the train. We literally had to run sprinting up the stairs because the escalators weren't working, the lifts weren't working. We had to sprint and run up the stairs, down the stairs with luggage, and then literally people out of nowhere, these two guys came and helped us with our luggage. Of course, we tipped them, but it was just such a high stressful situation. But it was at that point I was like, yeah, I'm gonna hustle in this Nigeria. I'm gonna hustle in this Nigeria. I was just like, cash is already not enough for things. There's an issue with another payment, like not being able to pay online, because loads of people got the free tickets basically, and I think people were just testing if it would work. I'm not sure that most of them actually wanted to travel. Maybe they did, I don't know. But just not giving that notice, they didn't even allow us to quickly purchase the tickets online beforehand. I say purchase, but book the tickets online beforehand. So it was really like stressful, but I'm thankful, like so thankful to God that we actually got on the train and got to Ibadan that day, because I wasn't about to now find how we're gonna get cash to go to the bus park and find like one of those minibuses to Ibadan. Like I was not, cash was the issue, you know. Not having, so I have a Nigerian bank account, but I didn't have the card for it, and I don't have the app. So that was what the issue was. I couldn't do a transfer because I don't have the app, and I couldn't use I didn't have a Nigerian bank card to use, so I only had international bank cards. And it being like the festive season, obviously banks are closed and stuff, so I wouldn't be able to sort it out till after Christmas, after Boxing Day, when I actually did end up sorting it out. So on getting to Ibadan, I still wasn't sure if this issue was just that hotel being funny, if it was just, you know, Lagos having issues with ATMs, whatever. But it was clear that it wasn't just the Lagos thing. It wasn't just the one hotel thing. So any ATM we went to, it was like no cash. Like it's as if people wait at the ATMs. As soon as they put cash in, after 5 minutes you won't find cash again. Like there's basically a shortage of cash. Then on top of that, I wasn't able to access my bank account because I didn't have a card and I don't have the app. So it was just like, where do we go from here? Luckily I was celebrating Christmas with my mum, so I was able to of course get some cash from her. But like even international companies weren't taking cash. So like Domino's, weren't taking international cards, like non-Nigerian bank cards. So even Domino's, Burger King, they just weren't accepting my cards. So I was shocked by that. I went to ShopRite, and ShopRite was one of the only places that accepted an international bank card. Many restaurants didn't accept it. I went to one restaurant and I had actually ordered food. I think it was called Stone Cafe in Ibadan. I actually went there. I went to order food until I was like, hold on, I might need to ask them, do they actually accept non-Nigerian accounts? And they're like, no, we don't. No, they weren't sure. So we tested it on the machine, on the POS machine, and it didn't go through. So at that point I was like, quickly cancel my order, because they were literally about to put my order through. They had already made my cocktail, my virgin cocktail, my mocktail, my pina colada. I'm trying to remember what it was. Yeah, my virgin colada. So I had to drink that. and the shame, I just ran out of there afterwards. It was like I drank the mocktail, paid them cash for the mocktail, and just left. It was so embarrassing, even though it's not my fault because I have a means of payment. They just don't accept that means of payment. So anyway, Christmas came, Boxing Day came, and I was finally able to go to the bank and get myself a Nigerian bank card. So my advice to anybody going to Nigeria that hasn't been in Nigeria in a while is to make sure you have if you have a Nigerian bank account already, make sure you're able to get yourself the card. You're able to get the app on your phone to be able to make transfers, and of course come with cash, like transfer cash. If you land in the airport, transfer. If you land in the airport, then exchange cash, like exchange your pounds, your dollars, your euro for naira. Do that, honestly, because the hustle was too much. Trying to find money out of an ATM, it just didn't work. It was no cash. Everywhere we went, no cash. So yeah, remember, cash is king. Try and sort out your bank cards, and if you don't have a bank account already, you'll probably need your NIN number. You'll probably need your BVN. These are things that you need to get sorted out in order to even open your bank account, I believe. So I would get all of that sorted as soon as you get to Nigeria. And yeah, just remember to come prepared, because I definitely was not prepared. I definitely was not. So after spending some few days in Ibadan, as you've seen from my vlog, I then went to Lagos, and I was a bit like in a better mood and able to navigate better because I had my Nigerian bank card now. So even on getting to my apartment that I was staying at, they still didn't accept card payments. You could only do a transfer or cash. So even if I wanted to use my Nigerian card, I couldn't. So they asked for a transfer beforehand. They don't actually take cash, and you can't do a card payment. So you actually have to do a transfer beforehand or transfer when you get there. So luckily I had sorted out the transfer beforehand. So when we got there, it was a seamless experience, very different compared to the first night in Lagos at another hotel. And you would have seen from my vlog that I went to eat out at a couple of places, the cafeteria, the Smiths, and in both those places, I don't think I was able to use my international bank card. I used my Nigerian card, which was fine, had no problems. I actually did try to order online using Glovo, and they said you could only use cash or again, I think cash or transfer. I said I tried to order on Glovo and I was unable to because it was either transfer or cash, and I didn't have enough cash because the ATMs didn't have enough cash, and I couldn't transfer because I didn't have the app registered. So I just had to find a way to go to places and actually use my card physically. So just to round this all up, guys, cash is king. Remember that. Remember, cash is king. Be prepared. So whether you come with your dollars, your pounds or euros, try and have that exchanged for naira, either before you get to Nigeria, at the airport, however, whenever. Just try and get cash. As well as be prepared. Get a SIM card, get your NIN number, have your bank account, Nigerian bank account, and get the app as well as the card, so that you can do payments and transfers easily when you're in Nigeria. So I also heard that there are some other alternative ways to get by, such as Palm Pay and some other apps, but I don't have much experience with them, so maybe look at those alternatives as well. If anybody, you know, recommends a way that I could have alternatively done transfers without my app working, then please do leave that in the comments below. I think because I was kind of a little bit out of touch, I hadn't been to Nigeria in a while, I was not too versed in the ways of instant transfers, but please do leave your advice, your tips for me and for anyone else that comes across this video. That would be so helpful. So guys, I just want to thank you all for listening. and please do subscribe, share, comment, and all the things. I shall see you in my next video. Bye.